there was a resolution brought in by a few congressmen. It was basically anti-Modi as well as anti-India resolution. And at that time, the congresswoman got up and said that, no, this is wrong. We are interfering in the internal affairs of India. And that's why this resolution should not be passed. So you can see that's what she has been doing for us. Ladies and gentlemen, you know that the Indian American community as well as the Hindu American community is a very minor part of this whole American melting pot. We are a small minority. We do not have much voice in the US Congress or in the US government. And it's necessary that we support a person like Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard. And whatever the donations you make is not enough, because she needs to win this 2014 election, and that's important for us. Before we get her formal introduction, I have two requests to the Congresswoman. The first is that you know that 2014 election in India was probably the greatest democratic exercise that ever took place in the world. Nearly 500 million people voted in a fair and free election. Unfortunately, when Narendra Modi, who has become now the Prime Minister after he got a thumping majority, 2000, during the Bush administration and subsequently the Obama administration, have continued the policy of withdrawing his visa. And I thought that was a great blow on the American foreign policy. Being an American citizen, and most of sitting here, they felt insulted that person who has never been sort of judged by any legal system, and he was absolutely an innocent man, and by some obscure law that due to certain pressure groups, the US government decided to withdraw his visa. So that was very unfortunate. And since Narendra Bhai, he's coming to the United States with a magnanimity, he forgot his pride and he decided that I want to strengthen the India-US relationship, so he's coming here. My request to you is that, is it possible for the US Congress to pass a resolution affirming, saying that it was a mistake on the part of the United States to have cancelled his visa and give him an apology? I think that will be a good thing to do. I understand your limitations because you are working in a democratic setup. It's not that easy, but at least an attempt should be made. And we expect, I think all of us, we expect that that would sort of strengthen Indo-US relationship. And the second part of it is, there's a lot of human rights violations taking place in Pakistan, in Bangladesh, in Malaysia, in Afghanistan, and in Saudi Arabia. And it's our request to you that United States Congress and the government should condemn this human rights violations and pass some kind of a resolution which would help the Hindus in those countries, because there is a lot of violation taking place today. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm asking Dr. Mr. Garibilla to introduce Congresswoman. Just, we want to do the formal thing.
Thank you, Dhirubhai. Aloha. Namaste. Vanakkam. Kemcha. All right. I'm going to invoke the divine energy. Vakratunda Mahakaya, Surya Koti Samaprabha, Nirvignam Kurumadeva, Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Dear friends, It's my honor to introduce to you Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard, a successful and established American leader who is very happy to be with us today. Tulsi is a decorated war veteran, a bright light in the world of politics, who happens to be a lifelong practicing Hindu. I was so impressed listening to her Gita, the talk on the Gita on the YouTube the other day. It was quite impressive, and I asked my kids to look at that too. We are all Hindus, but I don't know how much percentage of us are real practicing Hindus, but that was the feature that really I loved in her, and the character is reflected based on the principles that she followed. Tulsi was elected to the Hawaii State Legislature in 2002 at the age of 21, making her the youngest woman in the country ever elected to a state legislature. She sacrificed her state house seat in 2004 to voluntarily serve with her fellow soldiers in Iraq as a captain in the U.S. Army Hawaii National Guard, and has served two deployments in Middle East. She's a decorated young veteran who is seen by many in Hawaii as a role model for young men and women alike, and inspiration for all. Tulsi was sworn into the US Congress, taking her oath on the Bhagavad Gita. It was a historical event. Tulsi currently serves on the Committee of Armed Services, the Committee on Foreign Affairs, and she is Vice Chairman of the Democratic National Committee. Friends, I am honored to introduce to you one of the first two female war veterans and the first Hindu member of the United States of Congress, Tulsi Gabbard.
Before she starts her speech, I would have some bouquet presentation. Snehaben, would you like to present the bouquet to her? I would also request now Radhika to present a bouquet to our honored guest here, Mr. Vijay
Jolly.
Jolly.
You to come on stage? Yeah. No.
Like that.
We would like to present the bouquet to Mr. Rathore. Mrs. Tiwari. Please. I'd like to present a bouquet to Mr. Kumeni. Come. Indra Shah will present. You can say no to her.
Namaskar. Aloha. It's wonderful to be with you again. I know I met so many of you almost a year ago, I think, here in Atlanta. It's around Diwali time, October, exactly. So it's good to be back. I'm actually here dual purpose, also for the Democratic National Committee is having a meeting in town, and I was able to run away to join you all for dinner. The food is much better here, I promise. Yes, it's much better. I'd like to say, first of all, Diru, thank you very, very much for hosting me and hosting all of us here. To you and your wife for your support, and to your daughter, Sheetal, who does incredible work with the Hindu American Foundation, an organization that I and my staff work with, if not a daily basis, probably a weekly basis. We're in touch because, as you know, there are so many issues, not only that we deal with here in the United States that affect the Hindu American community, but issues around the world that it's important for us as a community to stand up and make sure that our voices are heard. A special welcome and aloha also to Mr. Jolly, good to see you again, and to Mr. Rathore. Very happy to have you here, and look forward to returning the favor and visiting you in your country. Thank you very much. I always forget to introduce him, so I'm going to say thank you to him in the beginning. My team member, Sunil Kemani, who is a little embarrassed because he was presented with roses. He's going to have to take them home to his wife now so he doesn't feel so embarrassed. But Sunil has worked with Diru and so many of you. Sunil is someone who I've known. He's been like an uncle to me since I was a child and didn't have any involvement in politics until I ran for Congress. And now he cannot escape. He's in this, so Sunil, thank you very much. First of all, huge congratulations on the elections held in India, to Prime Minister Modi taking his position, and to all of you for your hard work in making that possible. I remember everywhere I traveled around the country last year, in small towns across the country and large cities, the excitement growing towards that time of election was palpable, and many people, many of you, offering your support to BJP, either here or traveling to India to help with the elections, and what an impressive outcome. We've just celebrated a wonderful day not too long ago, Janmashtami. And in that celebration, it's an incredible opportunity for us all to reflect, both about the specialness of Lord Krishna coming here, but also in the message and the teachings that he gave to us, the timeless wisdom that he gave to each of us, and how those teachings, the teachings we find in the Bhagavad Gita, are just as relevant and important to us today as they ever have been, and as they always will be in the future. You talked, Diru, a little bit about the persecution that continues in many countries of Hindus, of minorities around the world, and how, unfortunately, if their plight is not captured in the evening news, as we've seen recently in northern Iraq, then many people don't even know that this is happening. It becomes very easy for us to go about our days and send our kids to school and go to work and go about our daily lives without recognizing the plight of many of our brothers and sisters around the world. So as we remember and appreciate and show our thanks to Lord Krishna for his love and his teachings, I think it's important that we also recognize that we have the opportunity to take that love and apply it in our own lives by taking action, by standing up and being a voice for those who are voiceless, by educating those around us, whether it be our co-workers, our neighbors, our friends, our family, about our brothers and sisters who are suffering. and find ways for us to take action, to do things about it. I think it's easy sometimes for us to think, well, I'm just one person. How can I help someone who's on the other side of the world, struggling just to stay alive, struggling just to worship, many times worshiping undercover out of fear for their lives? But when you look at any change that's happened in the world, when you look at the incredible election victory in India, how was any of this change made possible? It was only made possible when people stood up one by one by one by one and said, we will demand that this change occurs. All across the country, I heard different people saying that Narendra Modi would not be Prime Minister of India. He is. Why is that possible? Because people like you stood up and said, we're going to make this happen. So regardless of the challenge, regardless of how impossible it may seem, it's only through people like ourselves standing up and taking ownership and recognizing that as karma yogis, we have this sense of purpose that Krishna has given us. To be of service to Him, to be of service to others, to help others. And how can we apply this in our lives? That when we see wrong occurring, when we see evil, that we stand up and fight back. We stand up and take action and share these words of wisdom with others. I can tell you in my job in Congress, there's many issues that come up. Maybe not related directly to Hindus, but dealing directly with the issue of religious freedom and people having the opportunity to worship however they may choose in other places in the world without this threat of persecution. Things that we take for granted sometimes here in the United States. And I think sometimes people are afraid to speak up because they're afraid to be different or afraid to go against what many people may perceive to be normal, afraid to cause controversy. But I go back to the last verse of the Bhagavad Gita in these situations where people are afraid. And remember that Lord Krishna says, wherever there is Krishna and Arjuna, there is always victory. We may not be able to see it at that moment, but remembering those words and really taking them into our heart and holding on very tightly, this is where we find courage. This is where we find strength. And we see the opportunity and the responsibility that we have to take action. When I was growing up in Hawaii, I'm the fourth of 5 kids. I have 3 older brothers and a younger sister. If you talk to any of them growing up and told them Tulsi's going to be a member of Congress, they would have laughed very loudly. I was very shy. I was a total introvert. I did not like talking to people. I was very happy to have my nose buried in books or spend time surfing. But I understood and learned from a young age the importance of service, the importance of seeing what our own personal duty is in this life and the opportunity that we have with these lives. I didn't know how I would put that into practice, but eventually saw that opportunity when I was 21 to run for the State House of Representatives in Hawaii. And faced at that time many of the same naysayers as I faced later when I ran for Congress. People who said, you're too young, you don't know what you're doing, you're too inexperienced, it's not your time. But I was very deeply rooted in my own motivation. I knew why I was running for office. It was not because I thought I want to have a big long career in politics. I really didn't like politics that much, to be quite honest with you. But I saw every day as I knocked on people's doors in my neighborhood, as I heard from people about the difficulties their families faced, the fears that they had about their children not having better opportunities than they had, that for once in a generation, the next generation's outlook seemed more bleak than their fathers or their grandfathers, and that we had to do something about this. So as I went house to house, hearing from people, I recognized early then on that this is where that power lies, and this is where true happiness and reward lies, in serving others, in doing our best to make a difference in their lives, by pleasing God, by taking care of His children. It's been an incredible and constantly learning and growing experience for me. And I'm grateful for the opportunity that I have now, serving in Congress with a national and an even global platform, to be able to bring voice and bring light to many of the issues that we are concerned about. That when we see things like the resolution Viru talked about, came before the Human Rights Commission in Congress, to stand up and call it for what it is, so that people can make a choice and understand that, unfortunately, the truth sometimes is hard to find. And why it is our responsibility to stand up and speak the truth. To stand up and fight not only for Hindus who are being persecuted, but for our brothers and sisters who may call Krishna by a different name, who may worship in a different practice, but recognize that the respect we have for each other is found in our true identity of who we truly are. In Hawaii, we say aloha. There's someone here with a beautiful aloha shirt. There he is. It says aloha all over your shirt. As soon as you get off the airplane in Hawaii, people say aloha.
Then the luau.
When you leave, they say aloha. They say aloha means I love you, it means hello, it means goodbye. But truly, the deep meaning of aloha is even more special than all of those things. Alo means to share, and ha is the breath of life. It is who you are, it is the soul. So in the native Hawaiian practice, when you say aloha, you are sharing that mutual respect for someone who is your brother or your sister. Regardless of where you come from, regardless of your family or your culture, your socioeconomic status, take everything away. Just as we say namaste, we say aloha. So there's so much wisdom and beauty that India has given to the world through these great words of wisdom that we find in the Bhagavad Gita and other scriptures. Words of wisdom that truly can allow us as a global community to transcend so much of the conflict that we see, so many of the challenges that we see, if we take these truths to heart and put them practice in our own lives. And it starts right here with each and every one of us. Thank you very much for your support and coming here tonight. Namaste, Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you. It was a really great, inspiring speech, I'm sure. Just give her a big hand, please. We have a next speaker going to be Mr. Vijay Jolly, and he's going to be introduced by Vasudevbhai Patel. So, Vasudevbhai, please.
I am fortunate as well as I got the opportunity to introduce not only Vijay ji, but as well as Mr. Rathore also. Let me start with Mr. Rathore. You met, couple of people met him, and might be you have heard about him, but never met him. I met him first time also, but I heard about him. He's a soldier, a sportsman, and now a member of parliament. And that was a long side for the Narendra Bhai to choose the people who can serve from the different segment of the Indians. He served as officer in the Indian Army for 23 years. while serving in the army, there is a big honor that is called the Sword of Honor, to fight with the sword. Since he's in the army, they have to use every kind of things besides the guns. He was awarded that highest honor, as well as Ati Vasisht Seva Mandal medal. That is one of the top military medal. He got that one. He was awarded by President of India the Arjun Award, the Khel Ratna. And the Khel Ratna is the highest award the sportsman can get it, and he was awarded before he came to BJP. So you see his credential, how high they were. And also the Padma Shri, which is a call in the award category, that is the third highest award in the field. He also won the first Olympic silver medal in rifle shooting. That is really surprising, and for me it is very proud of that things for us. And his name is Colonel Rajyavardhan Rathore. Please. Now Vijay Ji, my elder brother, we know him for many years, and we call at least 15-20 times a year. And every time I visit India, we always either meet or call often. He was graduated from Sri Ram College, one of the famous college of Delhi. He was elected General Secretary of the Delhi University. It is like a whole constituency. How many? About 40,000 people vote?
Our house.
Close to?
We have 250,000 students.
Boy, so I actually represent the wrong number. 250,000. And then he was elected as the president also of the following year. Then he went for the member of assembly. He won that one. He also contest against Chief Minister of Delhi, Sheila Dixit also. And since last more than 4 years, he is serving as a convener of the overseas affairs for the Bharatiya Janata Party. That is none but the Vijay Jolly ji. Please come on the stage.
भारतीय मूल के लोगों को भारत से सलाम लाया हूं, आपको नमस्कार करता हूं, आपको प्रणाम करता हूं। तुलसी जी, अलोहा। I have met you for the third time. The first time I met her at a doctor's gathering. Again, it was a fundraising. Then I had the privilege of shaking hands with you in the gracious company of my party president and now the present Home Minister, Mr. Rajnath Singh in Washington, D.C. And today at a gathering of the nationalist Indians who are non-resident Indians in United States of America. But every time, I remember, Tulsi ji, when I visited Hawaii a few years ago, I'd only heard your name. But the whiff of fresh air which was evident after landing on the soil of Hawaii is the same when I sit over in your company and see towards you and say, Aloha Tulsi Gabbard. We are sure, with with the support of the people of Indian origin, the non-resident Indians, and of course the US citizens, your victory this year, later this year, is a foregone conclusion. But madam, since I dabble into the diplomacy of the present ruling party in India, I used to meet a lot of diplomats, ambassadors and high commissioners. And many, many years ago, when I had the privilege of meeting the US ambassador as well as the other US officials, like I am predicting today for your victory, at that time we told our American friends, banishing Narendra Modi from the US visit will not help the cause. And there will be a time when the US government will have to engage with him, talk to him, because one day he will be the supremo, not only of the Bharatiya Janata Party, but of the Republic of India also. We were proved correct then, and we will be proved correct later this year. Dear friends, I have not come here to deliver a speech, but me along with my senior Member of Parliament, Colonel retired Rajyavardhan Rathore, we are crisscrossing 8 major US cities only in a span of 12 days. We have already addressed big gatherings of non-resident Indians in Los Angeles, in Dallas, in Houston, today in Atlanta, tomorrow we will be in Chicago, then we will be in New Jersey, New York and Washington DC. This is only to invite you for the Namo, my Supremo, the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi ji's proposed New York rally on 28th of September, which is a Sunday in United States of America. जब आप ताली बजाते हैं, Tulsi, you will excuse me for a minute.
She knows it.
I have to establish a chord with the heart-to-heart of my brother and sisters of India. आप लोगों ने भारत का नाम अमेरिका में आके रोशन किया है, अपनी मेहनत से, अपनी एक्सपर्टीज से, अपने स्पेशलाइजेशन से। ना केवल आपने अपने परिवार का अपितु भारत मां का नाम भी रोशन किया है, इसलिए ताली आपके लिए बजनी चाहिए। We are proud of you. You brothers and sisters coming out thousands of miles have done extremely well. There are hundreds and thousands of doctors, engineers, architects, businessmen, social workers, VHP activists, Hindu Swam Sevak Sangh, BJP, FIA, and various organizations which have contributed to the economy of the United States of America. I have come over here today not only to acknowledge, not only to pay my aloha to dear Tulsi, but at the same time also request you all to participate in the historic Narendra Modi's address on 28th of September in New York. The program is being organized by the Indian American Community Foundation. अगर भारत से नरेंद्र मोदी हजारों मील दूर की यात्रा कर कर न्यूयॉर्क पर आ सकते हैं, तो अटलांटा से भी आप न्यूयॉर्क जा सकते हैं। आएंगे। और जब आपकी तालियां बजती हैं, मुझे विश्वास होता है भारत का वो प्रधानमंत्री जो लाल किले के प्राचीर से बिना बुलेट प्रूफ स्क्रीन के बोला, यह दर्शाता है हिंदुस्तान की सत्ता के कॉन्फिडेंस को और रिन्यूड विगर और विटालिटी को। जब प्रधानमंत्री आदरणीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने लाल किले से कहा, I will not serve India as a Prime Minister. मैं भारत की सेवा एक भारत के सेवक के रूप में करूंगा। I will reach out to the other political parties. I will not govern India with the majority, but I will govern India on the basis and the concept of consensus. This is the large-heartedness of the Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi. I had the privilege of talking to him, meeting with him, discussing with him on various occasions, and even after becoming the Prime Minister of India, his reaching out to the SAARC countries and the global heads in those countries to invite them over to the oath-taking ceremony shows the magnanimous attitude of the government of India, led by my BJP leader, Mr. Narendra Modi. Pakistan came, Bangladesh came, Afghanistan came, Bhutan came, Nepal came, Sri Lanka came, Maldives came. The message went loud and clear. Mr. Modi means governance. Mr. Modi means cutting across the barriers. We don't want confrontation. We want to join hearts to hearts together so that India can go and develop as a developed nation in the world. We are already developing, but with a renewed vigor and with a renewed confident government. My government is committed to perform for every section of the community. लेकिन बंधुओं, जब हम ये कहते हैं Vijay Jolly is proud to be a Hindu because I am born into a Hindu family, it doesn't mean that I am communal. BJP is often termed as a communal party. BJP is often termed by our adversaries and our enemies as a party which has got a communal agenda. I wish to put the record straight, and that record straight you people will also have to take the message. We are a nationalist Bharatiya Janata Party. No communal party in democratic India can win the confidence of Muslims, of Christians, of Hindus, of Jainis, of Sikhs, of all the different segments of the Indian polity. Since we are non-communal, we are a secular party with a clear-cut agenda, and if my Muslim brother feels happy on calling himself as a Muslim or as a Christian, so do Mr. Vijay Jolly feels proud to say that I am a proud Indian and a Hindu also. There is nothing communal on that matter. So dear friends, it's indeed a great pleasure having the same color of my Aloha Tulsi. It's a coincidence, but it shows. ये दर्शाता है दिलों से दिलों के संबंधों को. ये दर्शाता है अमेरिका और हिंदुस्तान के दोस्ताना संबंधों में मजबूती को. Today, the Almighty also wants that there has to be a similarity between New Delhi and Hawaii, New Delhi and United States of America. And dear friends, मैं इन शब्दों के साथ आपने मुझे बोलने का मौका दिया. बहुत से मेरे मित्र यहाँ पर बैठे हैं. I only wish to say one thing more. When I took over the BJP's global affairs 3.5 years ago, I worked with all the senior party leaders led by late Mr. Ved Prakash Goyal, late Kedarnath Sahni ji, late Bal Apte ji. But what all I learnt in their gracious shadow during the last 3.5 years, we had only 2 units in the globe. One was in United States of America and another one was in United Kingdom. But working as a team spirit, working at a speed, I believe in speed. I think I'm running against time. I'm privileged to say that today the BJP has chapters not in 2 countries but in 41 countries of the globe. We have a chapter in Italy. The Congress party doesn't have a chapter in Italy. I joke about that. We have a chapter in Canada. We have a chapter in Japan. We have a chapter in Norway, Denmark, Iceland, Mauritius, Nepal, Malaysia, Thailand, Ireland. And only a couple of weeks ago, I opened up the new chapter in Malaysia also. We are in UAE, we are in different parts of the globe, we are in Turkey, we are in Uzbekistan. We will soon be opening up a chapter in Panama, since I met a gentleman who would connect me with the non-resident Indians and people of Indian origin settled in Panama. And I always say, if there would be 2 Indians, even with the Eskimos in Greenland, Vijay Jolly does have a cause to travel all the way to Greenland. And dear friends, it's not only all about the global diplomacy. Tulsi, I had the privilege. I was elected MLA, a member of the Legislative Assembly in Delhi for 5 years. I delivered for the poor people. I live in one of the best houses. I earn from business I spend on politics. But I also have the privilege, when my party commanded me to fight against the mighty, then 3-time Chief Minister, Shrimati Sheila Dikshit. I lost by a slender margin. I should have lost by 100,000 votes, but I only lost by 12,500 votes. I used to live in South Delhi, traveling 25 kilometers in the morning and coming back in the night 25 kilometers. But my resolve was firm. I'm a swam saver. I'm a soldier. And I'm a soldier of the Bharatiya Janata Party. I'm a son, a swam saver, and I shall die as a swam saver. But I have an unflinching loyalty to my nation, to my party, to whatever I do in life. So I'm very privileged. I feel very honored. And I also feel honored talking to you, conversing with you, getting your applause and cheers. And I think these cheers are for my great leader, Mr. Narendra Modi, and for whose program me and Colonel Rathore have come over to personally request you, plead with you, please come 28th September, Madison Square Garden, 10 o'clock in the morning, come in the morning, go in the evening. If Modi ji can come, you can also come. Modi ji ko suniye, unke darshan kariye, और उनसे एक renewed vigor को लेकर आप दोबारा से अपने अटलांटा प्रांत में आकर भारतीयों का सिर उठाकर प्रतिनिधित्व करिए। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ एक बार फिर से मैं आपको नमस्कार करता हूं और प्रणाम करता हूं।
The speech was something I think I haven't heard for a long time. Such a speech. Very good. We admire what you have been doing, and we wish you all the best. And we hope that you will have all the branches everywhere in the world, you know. That's flag flying, you know. That's what it should be. Friends, before today, I think there's a request that we want Mr. Rathore to have a few words.
Absolutely.
Because after all, you know, he has got such gallantry awards, and such a young man, worked in, served in the U.S. Indian Army for a long time. We would like to hear from you something.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Difficult. You made that journey. You made that effort to make your life. Your zeal, your enthusiasm, your energy, your integrity, your determination, your loyalty, all created the brand India. And today, if we are respected around in the world, It's because of each and every one of you. As a sportsman, I have often noticed my fellow competitors from Pakistan say that we are from India, so that they get the respect that Indians get. 23 years in the Indian military, and now in politics, at a time when the young generation actually detests politicians. There was a survey in India Today magazine which said the most respected institution, the Indian Army, and the most hated profession. And I moved from the Indian Army. But there is a difference. At this time, when the world is looking at India, when India can make those empowering decisions, how can we have politicians that are hated? And therefore comes a man at this point of time in India that unites the entire nation, that renews the faith in the politicians. 125 crore Indians believe and have faith that this one man can do magic in India. And such a man, I always believe, that has the blessings of God, who can create such a great enthusiastic energy in every Indian. And therefore, at this point in time, as a soldier and as a sportsman, what else can I look for in my leader but the ability to lead from the front? And what a man, Mr. Modi. In this elections, he did 3 lakh kilometers. That's like going around the earth 8 times. That's like the distance to the moon. He did 477 rallies, none of which were cancelled. If you include all the other interactions, it goes to about 8,000 interactions. And he said, as the Prime Minister or a prospective Prime Minister, I will work the hardest than any other political worker. What else can a political worker ask for? What else can an Indian youth ask for than a leader who leads from the front? And now, after becoming the Prime Minister, in 2 flat months, he sent out a message to the whole world. By first, of course, like Mr. Jolly said, inviting the SAARC nations. Something which seems now in hindsight so common, so normal, but never occurred to any Prime Minister of India to ever invite the SAARC countries. He visited Nepal, first time in 17 years that a Prime Minister went, which now in hindsight seems, how did they miss out?
Right.
A nation that is a buffer between China and India, a nation that is so philosophically associated with India, that now the Prime Minister has visited. He visited Bhutan, he visited Nepal, he called the SAARC nations. He sent a message across to the whole world that we will first consolidate our neighborhood, and then together we shall look at the rest of the world and shake hands with it. And now he has sent not just me, but Mr. Jolly to go and build bridges with the Indian community. And this is a process that's not going to stop for his visit. But he says, and he explicitly mentioned that go interact with the Indian community, build bridges. They have already achieved success in their lives. They know, they think out of box. We want that energy, we want that enthusiasm to now come back to India, either by suggestions or by investments or by partnerships. And therefore today we look at you as successful models and icons that the rest of the youth of the country wants to look at you and perhaps follow. They may not be so lucky to have the same energy as you, but they have the same dreams as you. And therefore, I always believe कि एक चला तो क्या चला, वही चला जो 10 को लेके 7 चला. It's a humble request to all of you. And you all are force multipliers. We live in the world where force multiplication happens. You may be in whatever numbers here you are, but you will go back and connect to many more Indians. Please take this message back to them, that their Prime Minister is coming to India. He is not a political party leader. He is Sorry, to America. Yeah. He is not a political party leader. He is the Prime Minister of India who is coming to US. And he is just not addressing the Indians. He is, of course, ours. He is, in today's geopolitical status, addressing the whole world, that India has arrived. So it's a humble request to all of you to send this message across to all, to be there in spirit or in kind by yourself, to make this visit a success. And to you, Tulsi ji, you spoke about the victory of Narendra Modi. You would have read that it was a huge wave which swept across, which demolished the Congress party, which was so big. People said, if Congress in India knows what to do, they know how to fight elections. They may not know how to govern, but they know how to fight elections. And that political party today got demolished by a wave. And what is this wave? I believe that every positive expression, emotion, or thought never dies. And when we sit here today and we pray, that prayer is a vibration in the air. It never dies down. And when hundreds and then thousands of people pray for you, it's a wave that will demolish your opponents. We wish you good luck. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Rathore. It was really a great speech, very inspiring. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know that this is a community event and it's not my personal event. Today, I would like to recognize a lot of leaders here of the community because this is the time to say thank you to all of them. First of all, I would like to recognize Mr. Subhas Rajdan. He's a national leader. He has been awarded so many different kinds of awards. And I know two of them at least. One is the Pravas Bharati and second one was the Ellis Island. So congratulations. Mr. Shiv Agarwal, Shivji, where are you? Shivji has been always a friend, supporter. Whenever we needed anything here, Shivji, we want to come here and do this. He said, yes, sure, we are here. Shivji, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Sneha Mehta, I don't think you need an introduction to her. She's known everywhere. She's a great Hindu leader, ex-BHP president. We have Kusumji Khurana. She's the president of BHP. Dr. Gary Mella, he's a young man compared to me. Of course, he's a very young man, and he has been doing a fantastic job. And you know, during the last 2 years, we met and we realized that there is a synergy between us. We can work together, and that's what he's doing a good job. Thank you, Mr. Vinay Bopana. There is another young man, always ready to help you. Hindu activist and a great helper. We have here Shyamji and Manjuji Tiwari. Both of them, BHP and Hindu leadership, just unbelievable. For years and years I've been seeing them. And Manjuji particularly, she has started some Delhi Hindi classes in Georgia Tech, am I right? Emory, is it? Emory. That's good. We have Radhika Sudha. You know this young lady? She is with HSS. And every time I have a problem, I say that, Radhika, can you help me? She said, yeah, sure. You know, so far she was not working, so it was easy to get her. Now she works, so she said, oh, Dhiruji, I'm busy today, you know. But she's always ready to help. Mr. Chandrakant Patel, Chandubai, businessman, great supporter to us. Pratap Singh Chauhan. You know, this gentleman, you'd be surprised, he has got 18 stores here in Atlanta itself. You know, he's a great businessman. He came from Madhya Pradesh, and surprisingly, he came with only $700. And today, he has built a multi-million dollar business. We have Madhu Tataji. He's a Telugu leader. Dijotam ji. He's from Kashmiri group. Anthony Thalia. Anthony, Gandhi Foundation. See, you remember Mahatma Gandhi, and here is another Gandhi standing there. We have Nitin Shah, a businessman, and I was talking to Tulsi ji that if you want money, you know, he has got a checkbook he can write, you know. So you don't have to worry about at all money and what you do. Sunil ji, you just remember him, you know. He will help you to get whatever money.